please stop trying to be everything to everyone? I don't know how many different times I can say it.
You made yourself uncomfortable to make other people feel better, and that was part of that generation's training, and that is definitely not part of mine. Hello and welcome to Envisioning Success. I'm Laura DiBenedetto, joined by Julia Becker-Collins. We're here to kick your ass in marketing so you can stop wasting time and wasting money and start making a lot of money and reclaiming your time. So my goal is to make Julia laugh in every episode, and we are not even 20 seconds in, and I've already done it because I'm great.
Winning.
Yep. So today we're going to be talking about how marketing should attract and repel. You should stop watering yourself down. So listen, this is probably going to be one of my favorite episodes because I'm constantly saying this to people, like, stop being boring. Okay. Like, the reality is the odds are your content is too safe and your website is trying to be liked, but your brand voice sounds like it went through HR. You really don't need to attract more people. You need to attract fewer but better ones. You're not looking for the anybodies and everybody's. You're looking for that subset of people that are eager, willing, able to give you money and treat you really well. Imagine that.
Wild.
I know. So so I've been open about my love for AI. Instead of the 5 hot takes, we have 5 contrarian slaps. There you go. So we get 5 of those. Oh, ChatGPT, you're my funny little pal. Okay, so the first thing we have for you is the we help everyone equals zero magnetism. Real marketing dares people to opt out. And it's actually very, very important that you think about who you don't want to work with. So I'll give you an example from my life. One of the companies that I've started was in a contentious industry, and it's not for everyone, right? The business ultimately didn't make it, just lots of censorship, yada, yada. But it was one of those things where I wanted to be very, very clear. This is who we want. And being so incredibly clear about that and making bold statements like, we don't want to work with people who think like this. It was very bold. Very, very bold. We were able to get funding. We were able to do $250,000 a year in the first year. Unfortunately, there's 6% margin in that business, so that's a barely drop in the bucket. So, but the thing is, there's real money on the other side of being incredibly clear about who you want and who you don't want. And it doesn't mean those people suck. This doesn't mean that you're passing moral judgment. I've said that in the last 2 episodes. It's not about that. You should be so bold that it makes people want to opt out who aren't a good fit for you. Like, hi, my name is Laura DiBenedetto. I speak the fucking truth. I say the word fuck all the time. And if you don't like me, there's the fucking door. Like, this is who I am. Julia's got probably a slightly more polished version, but hey, that's how we are. We are here to tell the truth, do big shit, and have really powerful results for people who appreciate that and want to have someone do it for them. I don't want to work with people who want to micromanage. I don't want to work with cheapskates. I don't want to work with people who need to be emotionally handheld. Yeah. And in me saying that on our podcast is me telling you very clearly, if that describes you, I love you. Feel free to get all the wisdom in the world from this show. Please do not hire us because we are not going to get along great. Okay. But if you are the people who are respectful and trusting and you are willing to make adequate investments to actually get where you want to go, Julia and I will move heaven and earth for you.
Right.
And it will be a joy for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's an example of the clearest clarity that ever got clear.
I mean, it goes back to what we said in a previous episode about if you try to be everything to everyone, then you're nothing to no one. There is no way you can serve everyone. Even the most generic product or service cannot serve everyone. And I've had these conversations with people previously. They'll say, oh, anybody can be my client. I'm like, okay, anybody in the entire world? Well, no, just, we only sell to people in the United States. Oh, okay. So it's not anybody in the entire world. And you're only selling online, so they have to have internet access. Okay. And you're selling the service that has a certain price point, so they have to have a certain income stream. And people don't think about that. And then in addition to that, the way to really drive more sales is to speak directly to that ideal client. You want to go back to our long ago episodes. I believe it starts on episode 9, where we talk about avatar, and we really drive home the points of who you want to be marketing to based on your highest profit margin, who doesn't make you crazy, etc. Don't try to sell to everyone. Try to sell to that avatar. Try to market to that avatar so that you are bringing in more of the people that are going to be evangelists for your brand rather than people that are just kind of casually interested.
Amen to that.
I know, right?
I had a look on my face because I was like, we're on episode 83. How the hell did you remember what episode we talked about Avatar in?
This goes under the Julia only remembers trivia facts, but nothing actually useful. I could tell you all kinds of random facts about the world or history or science, but like nothing that's helpful in general.
Can I have one of those right now? Give me a random fact about fuck all.
Did you know that in the United States, only 13% of families are considered nuclear families, air quotes, a heterosexual man and woman married with 2 children?
No, 13%?
13%.
Wow.
Why do I remember that? I couldn't tell you. I can tell you it's as of the last census, though.
Would you like a factoid from me?
I love a factoid. Give it to me, and then I'll remember it for forever.
Did you know that toads lay eggs in strings that resemble the phone cords that are all curly?
No, but that's great.
Yes, and they take 2 days to hatch, and they become itty bitty baby microtoads that you could probably stick 5 on a penny, and there's going to be extra room.
I love it. Did you know that when a dog has a litter of puppies, it can have more than one dad?
Did you know that the same is possible in humans, but very rare?
No, I didn't.
Hey, you could have hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, and just be like,
that's not my hot girl summer, but it's.
I mean, yeah, no. I remember there was a really funny episode of The Golden Girls. Fun fact, that's my favorite show. Where like Blanche, she was going through menopause, but she thought she got pregnant. Like, who's the dad? I don't know. It could be Rick, Joe, Bob, Don, Dave. Like, I don't know.
I love it. It's so
it's actual possible. So yeah,
that's great.
Good times. Why do I know that about the toads, though?
Your brain is probably similar to mine.
Yes. And there may or may not be a 3-foot wide kiddie pool in my backyard filled with baby toad poles.
Oh, we've gone back to the frogs.
Listen. Oh my God. Here's another fun fact. Guys, we're going off the rails here on this episode. Why not have some fun? When the boy froggy is on the back of the girl froggy, he's holding her like really tightly in a position called amplexus.
Okay.
There's a fun word for you next time you're playing Scrabble. And he will hang on to her for up to 4 days in anticipation of the big moment. And there's no penile insertive behavior. This is something where she releases the eggies and he fertilizes them. And apparently his little bum goes as he's fertilizing the eggs. Why do I know this? Because I got to watch it the other day.
Did you know that jaywalking became illegal in the early 1900s because they were trying to detract from women walking by themselves?
What? Really?
Swear to God, that is why it's a law. It is from, back when cars weren't as common, etc. And the term jay was an insult. And so they called it jaywalking to detract from women walking by themselves across the street.
Huh.
This is all that's in my brain.
Did you know that the term Karen is actually a slur against white women?
Only with the Karen haircut, though.
It's the I want to speak to the manager.
It's the what's
it's
her name?
Slant. What was the name of her? Kate something?
Kate +8 or whatever.
Yeah.
John and Kate +8.
Yeah. Yep. That's the I
It's
want to
that
speak to the
haircut.
manager haircut. Yep.
It's the Karen haircut.
Meanwhile, I'm friends with a Karen, and she's deeply offended by that term, and she's like probably the nicest, kindest, sweetest person that God ever
I'm
made.
friends with a Karen too, and she also hates it. But also, I'm going to keep saying it because it's hilarious.
I tended to use the term Becky. I don't know what Becky ever did, but fuck her.
I love it.
All right, we should probably talk about the show here. So,
Oh, fine.
what's number 2? Oh my
Number
God,
2.
this dovetails nicely.
Polite is forgettable. Well, definitely won't be me.
Screw you,
Punchy.
Becky.
I know, right? Karen. Punchy, bold, polarizing language doesn't just build brands, it weeds out the weak. Really, what we're saying is that please stop trying to be everything to everyone. I don't know how many different times I can say it. Stop just using bland, middle of the road statements and really lean into whoever your brand is. It could be assertive, it could be funny, it could be quirky. Just lean into that further.
Say the damn thing.
Right.
Quit couching it. I mean, I got to tell you, if your marketing sounds like it came out of like compliance or HR, you fucked up.
I mean, fair. Every like pharma marketing account ever is the most boring thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God, Julia, this is a great example of how I know for sure that AI will not take over. Did you know?
Oh, give it to me.
That whenever you put a first draft of any sort of, hey, help me with my marketing, blah, blah, into Chat GPT, it writes it like HR.
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's horrible. Nobody likes to be spoken to like HR. So, listen, I do not feel any threat of the robot overlords. I'm still always saying please and thank you because you never know. But I'm not worried about my job being taken because I read that. I'm like, literally, nobody wants to be spoken to like this. If this is what you think polite is, get out of here. No, you need to be unapologetically yourself. And here's the fun part. Every human being has some spice. Use the spice.
As the person who represents HR for our company, I'm finding this hilarious.
Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful. If someone gets harassed by me and they have to go to Julia, it's like, well, what are you going to do?
What's number 3?
Tell people who you don't work with. Okay. Gatekeeping is sexy and you really should try it. So, the thing that I shared with you about, the story at the very beginning of the show, or the episode was very true. You have to be very bold about who you don't want to work with. There was, I mentioned it, I think in the episode 80 or 81, talking about some dude that was trying to get on my calendar and he was being like really disrespectful. Well, guess what? Thank you for the free social media content because stories sell. And I'm absolutely going to be telling people about that story because if you are trying to come to my table without respect, you will not get a seat at my table.
Yeah.
Period. And frankly, people enjoy working with those who have standards. So when I tell this story, it's going to have a predictable response. There's going to be a lot of people chiming in with, yeah, you tell them. But then there's going to be the other ones of like, yeah, respect is really important. There will be some people who unfollow me because I have boundaries and oh my God, you're such a bitch. Good, get out. And then there will be other people who opt in and get on my calendar because they admire the fact that I have stronger boundaries than they do and they want some of that. So it's gonna have a nice varied response, and that's a good thing.
Agreed. I have absolutely had conversations with other people in business where they're like, can you teach me how to have better boundaries? And I'm like, here's the link to get on my calendar.
Yeah, right.
I'm happy to try to help you. But yeah, I think it's something a lot of people struggle with and they see it in somebody else and they want to learn from that.
Oh, good. She was so like a lot of people were trained from when they were kids that boundaries were impolite or saying no was impolite. I mean, I remember recently someone that I love very much was trying to, get me to talk to a friend of his. And I said, no, because I've spoken to this person before and they're a champion time waster. They're very nice, but I value my time. Sorry, I have very important things to do with my time, and I don't feel like working till 8 p.m. just so I can make someone feel better. Um, so I said, no, I'm not going to be able to make time to speak to them, but I'm happy to email. Oh no, that wasn't enough, and I got really strongly criticized for that. And it was like, well, then be mad. I'm not going to bend because you know, now this person is much, much older than me, but that's their generation where you made yourself uncomfortable to make other people feel better. And that was part of that generation's training. And that is definitely not part of mine.
As I had said to a very dear friend of mine today, you are not responsible for somebody else's feelings.
Yep.
You're just not. You're responsible for your own. You're responsible for your own feelings. You're responsible for how you react to feelings. You're responsible for your, interaction in society, but you can't control what other people do and you can't change other people's feelings.
No, you can't. Cool.
Okay. Moving on to number 4. Boring is a bigger risk than bold. This goes along with everything we've been saying, especially what Laura was saying about being contrarian. If you're afraid to offend literally anybody, you're going to be milquetoast and you're never going to attract your ideal client. And I don't mean offend like saying nasty things or being terrible human being. I mean
It's not about that.
say I'm going to use the example I always use. Say you make sweaters and you only make sweaters in plus sizes. And
God, you
that's
love
what you
this
do.
example so much.
It's such a good example. It's my favorite example because most people own clothing. Like it just makes sense, right? You only make plus size sweaters and you only make it in 3 colors and you only ship in the United States, the continental United States. So maybe somebody who is an extra, extra small is going to want to buy the sweater, but can't because you don't offer that size. And they'll be offended, air quotes, offended that you don't have their size. Well, too bad. So sad. Don't bend yourself in half to offer something that isn't in your wheelhouse. If you are specializing in plus size clothing, then you are specializing in plus size clothing. End of story. That's it. Those sweaters are for big girls. And that's the end of it.
Isn't there
Don't.
that store Lane Bryant that caters to larger women?
Yeah,
Great. I can't shop there.
totally.
And I love that store exists. I've even seen some cute stuff on the models out front. I'm like, oh, that's
Very cute.
adorable. Oh well.
Very, very cute. Same as like it could be out of your price point. Do I think Gucci has amazing clothing? Yes. Am I going to shop there? No. I can't afford that. And not for nothing, I don't want to pay for that. So then it's not for me, but I'm not offended by their price points. But
Right.
somebody would be.
Well, also, given what we've been talking about here and like saying that, like at our company, we're not looking for the people who need emotional handholding or they're desperate. We're both very comfortable saying those things because we don't actually feel comfortable serving those folks because we're not going to do a great job at it, but we know who we are comfortable with. And if you're offended by us saying that if you want to be emotionally handheld, it's probably because you want to be emotionally handheld and we've just said no. Right?
Yes. Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's actually, like, I know a number of companies who are led by women who, we're just better at that stuff. And these particular women are really, really good at the emotional warm and fuzzy. They're so good at it. They love it. Great. Now I have somebody to give business to.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all good.
What's number 5?
So, boy, they're all kind of right along the same theme. This feels so good. There's so much dovetailing. It's the dovetailiest dovetail of all dovetails. It's so great.
Last word.
So last point here is stop apologizing for your standards. Your brand should sound like someone with a backbone, not someone auditioning for approval. It's okay to have standards. It doesn't make you an asshole. It's okay to not want to work with certain people. It's the same thing of, I don't want to date someone or I don't want to be friends with someone. You get to decide what works for you. And if it's your company, great. And if it's your role within somebody else's company, great. Bring this episode to your boss. If the company is stagnating and you're having a hard time with servicing great clients and you can't really scale too well because you're losing clients at record pace, well, this episode is going to probably help you out because here's the thing. If you follow the 5 pieces of advice, the 5 thoughts we've had for you in this and the last episode and the one before and the next one, you'll actually be able to scale your company a hell of a lot faster because you can keep your clients. Constantly having to replace is the whole impetus behind these episodes. You don't want to be replacing clients. You want to be adding to. Preach. So anyway.
Drop that mic.
Yeah. So on that note, oh, no. We don't drop those mics. They're very expensive. No. It's more of like I'll drop the emoji.
No.
All right. So the next episode is going to be about scaling. And that's basically everything we've been leading up to here. So don't miss it. Head to vision-advertising.com right now. Go to the contact page. Let us know who you are and say hello. Let us know what you think about the show and give us your feedback and let us know what you'd love to hear about. We're here to help you. If you want us to take a no obligation look at your marketing, we're happy to do it. Just ask. And we don't do the whole, icky, aggressive sales pitch. We don't receive them and we don't give that. So if you just want some objective help, we're here for you. So vision-advertising.com. Peace. We'll see you in the next episode.